1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says the government will take action against land mafias and their facilitators with the help of the digital record maintained by cadastral mapping. The Ministry of Information Technology and Digital Cooperation Organization have agreed to enhance cooperation for provision of IT-related facilities. Crackdown against non-compliance of coronavirus standard operating procedures and unvaccinated people is continuing across the country. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference has expressed grave concern over the inhuman treatment being meted out to the illegally detained Hurriyat leaders and activists in jails of Indian and occupied territory. The fourth phase of the Khalistan referendum is being held in 3 cities of the United Kingdom today. The last T20 international match between Pakistan and Bangladesh will be played in Dhaka tomorrow. In the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government will take action against land mafias and their facilitators with the help of digital record maintained by cadastral mapping. In a series of tweets, he said when the government began cadastral mapping of Pakistan to digitalize land records, there was a massive resistance, just like protests over the electronic voting machines. He said results of Phase 1 survey of state land show phenomenal state land encroachment, including forest land through land mafia, political elite connivance. The Prime Minister said the most shocking facts to come out are huge. Total value of all the encroached state land in 3 major cities, which is approximately worth 5,595 billion rupees. He said approximate value of the encroached forest land is 1,869 billion rupees. Imran Khan said this has aggravated Pakistan's existing lack of sufficient forest cover. Prime Minister Imran Khan has directed to complete all arrangements for holding local bodies elections in the Punjab. The Prime Minister stated this during a meeting with the Punjab Minister for Local Bodies, Mian Mahmood Rashid, in Islamabad. They discussed matters pertaining to local bodies elections in the Punjab. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Climate Change, Malik Amin Aslam, says the government has completed cadastral mapping of the state land. Briefing media persons in Islamabad today, he said the government is determined to recover the state land from illegal occupants. He said the total area of forest land in Pakistan is around 30,000 square kilometers and around 700,000 acres of forest land is under illegal occupation. Malik Amin Aslam said the survey of Pakistan covered every inch of the state land while compiling the cadastral map of the country. He said action will be taken against the illegal occupants of the state land. Malik Amin Aslam said forest cover of Pakistan can be enhanced up to 5 to 7% if illegally occupied forest land is recovered. The Ministry of Information Technology and Telecommunications and Digital Cooperation Organization have agreed to enhance cooperation and collaboration in the field of IT among the member countries. This was agreed during a joint statement issued in Islamabad today at the end of the 3-day inaugural visit to Pakistan by the Secretary General of DCO, Dima Al-Yahya. It was also agreed to make efforts to promote public-private partnership, provide digital facilities in urban and rural areas, and to provide investment opportunities for IT professionals. It was also announced that Pakistan Innovation Challenge which will enable 1 million Pakistani students to learn digital skills by 2022. The DCO, consisting of 7 founding member countries, aims at benefiting from each other's experiences and provide technical requirements for their citizens and enable the market opportunities from their collective population of 500 million people. The ambassador of Indonesia to Pakistan, Adam Mullah Warman Tujio, has said both Islamabad and Jakarta have a large and huge potential to increase bilateral trade volume. In an interview with APP, he said there are vast opportunities in e-commerce trade between Pakistan and Indonesia. The ambassador said Pakistan and Indonesia are countries with large youth populations that can make the mark in the global e-commerce trade and create vast employment opportunities. Mullah Warman Tujio said both sides are among the most beautiful countries in the world, and with the promotion of tourism in both the countries, mutual economic activities would reach its peak. The action to ensure implementation on anti-COVID-19 vaccine-induced restrictions continues all across the country. The special teams formed at the Tehsil and district levels, as per the instructions of the National Command and Operations Centre, are conducting regular visits of transport centres and educational institutions to check unvaccinated individuals. This is Radio Pakistan. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has lashed out at the Modi-led fascist Indian regime for inhumanly treating Hurriyat leaders and activists in jails. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference spokesman, in a statement, said the way the Kashmiri political prisoners, the prisoners of conscience, are treated in the Indian jails has no parallel in the human history. The spokesman hailed the steadfastness of incarcerated APHC chairman Musarrat Alam Bhatt, Shabbir Ahmad Shah, Mohammad Yasin Malik, and thousands of other detainees languishing in Tihar, Agra, Jodhpur, Karnal, and other Indian jails for the only crime of demanding their inalienable right to self-determination as promised by the United Nations Security Council. The Jammu and Kashmir mass movement, in a statement, said the Indian troops were committing the worst kind of brutalities and atrocities and were arresting innocent Kashmiris during coordinated search operations. The fourth phase of Khalistan referendum aimed at carving out a separate homeland for the Sikh community in India is being held in the United Kingdom cities of Leicester, Coventry and Derby today. The voting for the Khalistan referendum had begun on the 31st of last month in London, in which over 30,000 Sikhs participated. Sikhs massively participated in the next two phases of Khalistan referendum held in the United Kingdom on the 7th and 14th of this month. The referendum for Sikh separate homeland will also be held in the United States, Canada, Australia and the Indian region of the Punjab soon. The voting in Geneva for Khalistan referendum will be held on the 30th of next month. Rather, on the 10th of next month. As per international experts, the Khalistan referendum is in complete consonance with the United Nations Charter, and the findings of the referendum will be shared with the United Nations and other global bodies to seek support for a separate Sikh homeland. China has officially downgraded its diplomatic ties with Lithuania after the Baltic state allowed Taiwan to open a de facto embassy in Vilnius. In a statement in Beijing, the Foreign Ministry condemned Lithuania for allowing Taipei opening an office with the name Taiwan and termed it a significant diplomatic departure. It said the move undermined China's sovereignty and territorial integrity and grossly interfered in China's internal affairs, creating a bad precedent internationally. In Sudan, the military junta has decided to reinstate the deposed Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok following an agreement reached with his Ummah party. In a statement, the head of the Ummah party, Fadlallah Buma Nasir, told press today that Hamdok will form an independent cabinet of technocrats. All political detainees will also be freed under the agreement with the army. In Palestine, Israeli occupation forces have martyred a Palestinian in the old city of Jerusalem. The Palestinian was shot dead at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Cricket. The last T20 international of the three-match series between Pakistan and Bangladesh will be played at Dhaka tomorrow. The match will start at 1300 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Pakistan lead the series 2-0. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, smog and fog is likely to prevail in the plain areas of the Punjab. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.